Good afternoon. Welcome to the Charles Report. This is the second of an impromptu series of reports I'm giving. The purposes of didactic education, my own education, and what's possible with technology. And I'll try not to bore you too much. If I've got anything to say, I'll try to make it interesting. I can't promise you that that will be the case, but it's extraordinary what we can do with technology these days. And the Charles Report is something I did years ago as an experiment and a creative outlet for myself, and also to be of use and maybe possible entertainment value to other people. I'm having lunch right now, and so since I have no viewers, I'm just going to indulge myself. I haven't been feeling too well. I don't know. Great burger. Publix. Sorry, I'm eating while I'm supposed to be doing my Charles Report. We're deep into the COVID-19 crisis, and it's not getting better, and that's really depressing. The economy's in a shambles, and there's no leadership anywhere. Country's ripe for major change, social revolution. But where are the leaders to be found? Nowhere. And maybe we shouldn't depend upon leaders. We are herd animals, though, it seems. And that's not good. If we're not herd animals, we wouldn't need leaders. We'd be able to think for ourselves, not depend upon some Ubermensch to solve all the problems of the day. But essentially, leaders are elements of an aspect of the class divisions in society have existed since for many, many eons, and we're living with the remnants of it in a very, very protracted form. A lot of people think that this is maybe something related to what they call the Human Extinction Protocol, just the first of many plagues to impact the human race. I should not do this while I'm eating, but I haven't eaten anything all day. That's really impolite of me to expect people to watch this kind of a pitiful performance. It's even more the pornography of eating. I'm talking about the pornography of sex. I'm talking about the pornography of eating. And I guess that's what this is. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this burger. I'm going to have another one afterwards. I've got major intestinal disorders, probably going to kill me. Might be cancer. I don't know. Very common cause of death in males my age. And so we're all going to die of something. But I've got, coin collection to dispose of, other things, but I don't want to deal with my petty problems. I'm just one individual on the vast sea of humanity. I'm like a speck of sand on the beach. And that's the way I like it. I'm glad I'm not responsible for all the major decisions of the day. You can't blame me, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm a writer, I'm a poet, phosphor. Any other bad words you want to label me with? My new line on phosphor is Jean Baudelaire, French. Simulacra, simulation. We live in a simulated world, mass produced. We've confused the map with the territory. We don't know what reality is. Of course, that's what phenomenology is all about. Not confusing the map with the territory. And I've educated myself philosophically by listening to all the lectures on YouTube. It's a veritable education in the world of philosophy. And many things are available on YouTube now. So that was the basis of my philosophical education and some reading of my own. I don't know. My background in psychology is such that I believe that I can't save the whole human race. Maybe I can just help one person at a time. And I've learned a lot on my own. I consider myself an autodidact. I'm hoping to go back and finish a doctoral program at Kaiser. I'm 70% done. Maybe I won't. But in the world of psychology, if you don't have PhD behind your name or DR in front of it, you're not a psychologist. So I need to finish that. Before I die. Anyway, friend, very talented young, well, not young, but my age, maybe, by the name of Jenny Nazak, who has inspired me with her creative ability using YouTube and live streaming and Facebook. I figured, well, I better get at it and try to see what I can do to maybe create some new thinking. Jenny is far more advanced than me, I have to admit, in many ways. And she's a person who's very big into environmental issues. And let me see, I wrote down exactly what movement it is she's part of. And it's a pleasure to know her. She's so interesting. And Jenny Nazak. And I hope she won't mind my giving her some credit for her work. It's let me see. I'm just a simple poet, and I mean I'm really simple. Like it's a simple Simon. But Jenny is very sophisticated in thinking, especially when it comes to environmental things, and her courage as an individual is remarkable for thinking these big thoughts. And she's very, well, I've seen worse things on the regular media where people make bigger fools of themselves than I'm making right now of myself. So anyway, how about if I read you one of my poems that I haven't published yet on my blog site, and it's probably pretty raw. Gosh, still working on my burger here. Anyway, I can't find the information on Jenny Nazak's movement. And I'm such a turkey that I'm really showing myself to be just a complete buffoon. I hope you not watch this. And I can just use it as a learning experience. So it's not really the kind of thing I want other people looking at. But I do want to learn from my experience here and try to develop some capability as a broadcaster or a narrowcaster, whatever this is, live streamer. And God damn it, sorry, I can't find it. Oh gosh, I am so pissed off at myself sometimes. Inability to find things, lose things. It's amazing. Anyway, the idea is that, according to what Jenny was saying, that the civilization is collapsing, and all the systems that we take for granted, like the food system and being able to buy food, and law and order, I guess, and education for sure has collapsed. They're going to, these things are going to collapse, and they're not going to exist anymore. And we have to, when we hit bottom, we're going to have to find ways of filling the vacuum. And she is about trying to develop ways of restarting civilization once we've hit bottom. And very interesting thinking. I don't believe that. I don't believe in this idea of this so-called human extinction project that has. I think it's basically doom and gloom on steroids, and I think that human beings are infinitely adaptable, in spite of the fact we make terrible mistakes. May be, lead ourselves to the edge of extinction, but we'll come back. And we're living through an era of overdeveloped egos where selfish, narcissistic individuals can become threats to humanity in their greed-driven excesses, and antisocial personalities do well. And we're just realizing that society is not organized for the many, but there's too many contradictions in the kind of Marxist utopianist end time logic, apocalyptic nonsense that is they think is the inevitable result of the collapse of capitalism. I don't see capitalism as necessarily collapsing. I see it's a state of mind as much as a social system. I don't know what I see sometimes. I'm as confused and disoriented as anybody else. But I do think that Marxism is definitely relevant. But how relevant, I can't say. History will determine that. I hope that I don't make too big a fool of myself, but I don't worry about it. I'm already well established in that category, so it doesn't really much matter. Once again, I'm live casting from my live streaming from my kitchen. This time I'm eating. The last time I had sense enough not to eat a burger while I was live streaming, but this is real life, baby, and this is what we do. Florida may become an independent country. 17th biggest economy in the world. If we were an independent country, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen sometime. And that is the United States, like a lot of Constantine the Great had a way of reinventing the Roman Empire, reinventing the Roman ideal. And as a result, he was able to hold the empire together and expand it for another 300 years. that ability to reinvent um, and the creative thinking to of leaders to reinvent their this is what Constantine did. The great did is possible here in America. Although the means of doing it is not going to be Christianity. It's a 2,000-year-old doctrinaire system based upon the various books of the so-called Bible were put together by Constantine in the year 300. Um, Pick what you want left out. The so-called church fathers. We're in it. That's today the revolution ideal that will reinvent society is Marxist in its orientation and in its essence, but the interpretation of that leaves a lot to be decided, and the cruelty and the excesses of past revolutions are quite abominable, and America is way beyond way beyond that. We don't want that. We don't need that, and it'll never happen here. But we will have a day of reckoning for the elites and a settlement of the I don't know the social grievances that so many people seem to have, even that are some justified, some unjustified, some historical injustices that people living today are made to feel responsible for. We'll have a settling of those scores in a positive direction, I think. Maybe like what for instance, along the lines of maybe what South Africa had with the end of apartheid. It'll all, in, in a bloody mess. No, it'll all work out, I suppose. But point is, the organizing principle. Christianity was the organizing principle for Constantine. Today, communism is the apotheosis of Christianity. That's the organizing principle today. They'll take creative logic, so apply that organizing principle to today's world. But you have to understand that America means the entire Western Hemisphere, from the North Pole to the South Pole. That's a Native American. Who's an American? It's anybody that lives in the Americas. We need to reorganize ourselves along that basis and national boundaries. And certainly, to be crude and lewd and brutal about it, we have enough manpower to occupy the rest of the earth and the trouble spots that we might have. We'll reorganize the planet as a result of that. And that's what I really believe is in the offing and what our future is. And Miami was once thought of as possible as the Latin American capital back in the early days when the Organization of American States was first formed. There's no reason that Miami can't be the Constantinople, Novus Roma of this rediscovered, reinvented America. It represents all people of the Americas fairly, and I think it will be such a major shock that will put the Russian Chinese Revolution into the shade. It'll be such an earth-shaking event, and it'll alter history forever. So I think that's where the action's at, and where the intelligentsia is, the brain trust, the revolutionary cadre. I don't think it exists. There are some bright people, and sooner or later they're gonna come to that solution. Hopefully, we can only hope, but I think it's inevitable. And we'll take another bite of my burger here. Nothing lasts forever. Something has to die. A seed goes into the ground and dies before it's born. So the Bible says, going back to what it is with the American constitutional system, it's become more of a, it's dying. Something You'll rise out of the ashes like a phoenix. And that's the concept that those principles need to be applied to everyone in the Americas. We need to reinvent ourselves as an entity, as a transnational entity, where the nation state is, as Lenin said, as Marx said, withered away and died. What does this going to look like in practical terms is something I can't really visualize. But it's inevitable. And our travails right now, it's hard to say what the total impact of COVID-19 is going to be. I think they're going to find a vaccine, but they don't have the wherewithal to produce it because there's no leadership, no governmental at the highest levels to support the development of a vaccine for everybody. It'll be chaos, increasing chaos, and until the ship is finally righted. But as my great, so many great uncle James, Captain James Lawrence said when he was killed by a British captain right before he died in War of 1812, he said though he ordered his men who had to get around him. And this was not some sentimental request. It was an order. He said, "Don't give up the ship," and then keep on fighting. And that's what we have to do. We don't give up the ship. We're just going to keep fighting until this is realized, until the better world is made from the ashes. And that's what our purpose in life is. And if we have to suffer a little bit, so be it. But the better world is coming, and I have a very positive view of the future. But there's a time for heroism, and I think we who call ourselves intellectuals, if we really are, we have to step up and maybe provide some sort of leadership that doesn't exist right now. I certainly appreciate Jenny's leadership and her media work, and it has inspired me to make the second stupid video and put forward some of my pathetic ideas while having lunch and killing two birds with one stone. I hope I'm not going to have too many onlookers of this spectacle, this poor pathetic spectacle that I've become. But knock yourself out, enjoy yourself, have a few laughs. But maybe I said some things you would think about, and I don't consider myself part of any revolutionary cadre, part of any leadership element. I'm just one person, and I have some ideas, and but maybe this is kind of a loosey goosey kind of thing, and we share ideas, and somehow these things get percolating, and a better world comes into existence. But I think we are seeing more and more social disintegration, and people like Jenny Nazak who talk about this are basically on the right track, and I don't know a whole lot about her ideas. Excuse me. What a disgusting pig, right? Human, all too human, I admit. Anyway, that's the story here, the Charles Report, and we're 23 minutes and 43 seconds, 44 seconds into this, and I don't know how long to let this nonsense run. I need some practice with live streaming, and any feedback I get from anybody in regard to this stupidity is going to be welcomed. I wish I was, more serious. I can't be too overly serious. You have to learn how to laugh a little bit. I mean, that's one of our redeeming qualities is that we can laugh even in the face of great danger. As they say in Ireland, cheer up, we'll be dead soon. So anyway, that's one of our strengths, I think. We have a sense of humor, and I don't know that any animals besides us have a sense of humor, so that definitely sets us apart. But I've never been a part of animal dog society or cat society or elephant society. I'm just a part of human society, and our societies are collapsing. Certainly, I can't speak for any other society but the one I'm in right now. And that's Western civilization and society. America, in particular, is a leading country of Western civilization. Um, that civilization is collapsing, and Bill Gates might have some wonderful ideas, and Melinda, and they might see themselves as saviors of the Western world. Well, they have that dashboard of loot, so that's what makes them so superior. Um, but that's the nature of capitalism. That they were not they were part of it's really a misnomer to think that vast amounts of wealth entitles someone to be um, um, you know um, think that they have the solutions to anything. But that's not to say that the foundation doesn't do things that are useful. But it's just a way for the wealthy individuals not to have to pay taxes. And I'm sorry, Melinda. I know I friended you on LinkedIn, but I got to call spade a spade here. um, well, so be it. I guess you'll do some terrible things to my video here. Pay me back for this. Anyway, no, it's we're talking about social parasites, and they're bleeding dry the human race, and it's the nature of our civilization is such that it's the greatest amount of America today represents the greatest division of wealth, po- polarization and wealth, difference in wealth than any other country in the world. It's like what we used to think of as India, with massive amounts of wealth being held by fewer and fewer people, concentration of wealth into fewer and fewer hands, and increased poverty and misery for the masses. And of course, that's untenable. And of course, that's um, principally why civilization is breaking down. Um, it's a disparity. It's called as quadsi. It's a world out of balance, and the world will right itself and come into balance. And people are, I'm very hopeful for the future. But not for your future, Melinda. Bill, you're going to be a whole lot poorer in the future. Uh, you might even have to go out and work and earn your living like everybody else. But that's okay. No harm will come to you, and we respect you and we love you, like everybody else. But you got to turn some of that. You got to turn all that loot over. Um, Same with all the other tech trillionaires and um, soon to be trillionaires, I guess. That they're going to have to give back their loot, or the masses will grab it from you. But we love you, and we don't want to see any harm come to you, and I don't think any harm will come to you. It's a world where if you want to survive, that you're going to have to give up your loot. That's the only way your children will survive and will have a human future. Um, and I think it's a human future for all people, and not just for one particular group. And this so-called racial myth, this idea of race that has been so poisonous since the 16th century, when they invented the idea that there are so-called races as opposed to one race, the human race. That they invented this concept to justify the slave trade and the British colonization of India. Is really as a kind of psychic virus that has so infected the American psyche that, um, and I guess other, I don't think any other country has been as impacted as America because of naturally because of the slavery that made America the great country that it is. I mean, let's face it, people. Um, but that's not to the, the, the settlement of historical injustices and the blaming of people who live today for what happened 400 years ago is an injustice also. And we just need to get beyond this ugly concept of race, this psychic virus. I mean, it's as pernicious as COVID-19, and the ruling class is using it like, they're playing us like a heart from hell, to quote the Penguin in the Batman movie. you know, and they're playing us like a heart from hell, people. And we need to wake up and let the scholars speak. And the scholars have rendered the verdict that there is no such thing as race, or there's only one race. That's the human race. And when we get behind this pernicious concept, we'll begin to think we'll have cured ourselves of this terrible virus that's as pernicious as the psychic virus is pernicious as COVID-19, and that in itself will ease many of the tensions and many of the problems, and of course the um, the gender issue is another matter. Um, Western civilization has always been a civilization of Beauty and the Beast, and the little woman and all the various attributes. The greatest amount of gender disparity, or what you call not gender disparity, but there's a term for it, but I can't think of it right now because there's motorcycles outside and they're annoying and making noise, and it's affecting my brain power. Anyway, it's 30 minutes, 53 seconds into this nonsense. Time to wrap it up. The history of monosexual dominance down through the ages, Berting, Matilda Berting, and deals with gender issues. It's as revolutionary as Karl Marx ever was, a German anthropologist. I believe they have the answer. And let's get on with creating a better world for ourselves. But I think, unfortunately, it's going to be when we hit rock bottom after civilization has broken down. And good luck to you, Jenny, with your work. You've inspired me to act stupid today. And anybody who wants to waste any time looking at this, so be it. It's on you. All right. Goodbye. Have fun. And this is the end.